What's up, snake fans? Dave Palumbo here from Muscle Serpents Daily. It's Tuesday morning and I'm looking at boas and I'm looking for breeding behavior. And as I look into my Scoria boa cage here, this is my Scoria girl who produced my beautiful Scoria double het paradigm bloods. This year, as you can see, I'm breeding her to a hypolabyrinth male. Now, they're not locked up right now. I'm hoping I'm going to see some breeding behavior in the next couple weeks here. But I was really deciding if I was going to breed her again this year. She definitely got up to size again. I felt like, all right, let's do it. I'll pull the trigger. What am I going to put with her? I didn't want to repeat the paradigm blood repairing that I did from last year. So I said, let's do something labyrinth-wise. Now, the problem with Scoria is a reduced pattern, boa. And labyrinth is a reduced pattern. So I don't really know what the labyrinth and the Scoria are going to do to each other, if anything, if we'll even be able to see a difference. I'm sure something will look different, and obviously the hypo gene in the labyrinth should do something to reduce pattern and lighten up the Scoria, but I don't really know what's going to happen. I don't know of anyone who's done labyrinth Scoria. So, hey, sometimes you got to just take a chance and see what's produced, and that's what makes boa breeding so great, and all snake breeding for that matter. You put stuff together and see what happens. Sometimes you get surprised and something amazing happens. So that's what we're going to be doing here, looking at some great looking boas in my collection and see who's breeding, who's not, and what potential we got. Here's another breeding that I really want to show you that I picked up a motley fire. I picked up a motley fire girl as an adult this year, as you can tell. Not one of mine. She's a little feisty. And I'm breeding her to a fire diamond male that I've had, and I'm going to try to see. Look, I've been having trouble making super fires. I haven't made any yet. It's driving me crazy. It's hurting my ego a little bit, to be honest with you. So this girl became available. Someone was selling her in the collection. I picked her up. She's a motley fire, and I'm breeding it to a fire, and we're going to hopefully produce some super fires from this breeding. I haven't seen any locks from these two yet, but I just basically put them together recently. She seems to be up to size. She didn't produce anything last year for the guy who tried to breed her, so hopefully this year we'll get something out of her. Once again, when you buy adults, which I very rarely do, by the way, I've told you that before, sometimes their behavior can be a little unpredictable, so you got to be, cautious of that. I know the snakes that I produced as babies, I can pick them up. I know what their personality is, I know what they do, and very rarely am I surprised, aside from when I feed them. Sometimes they get a little food aggressive. This girl's a little on the aggressive side. Obviously, she's in breeding behavior. That's why I don't really touch these snakes when they're breeding. I kind of leave them alone. Obviously, I'm opening this tub just so you guys can see the snakes and what they're doing. But hopefully, this fire to fire is going to produce super fire at least 25% of the time. The way the odds go, if we do get a litter from this girl, we could get some super fires, which are totally white snakes with black eyes or black-eyed leucistics. That's the goal this year. I want to make a super fire. All right, this is another snake breeding that I kind of showed you in the beginning of the season. I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I hope something happens. This is a virgin girl. She's a motley jungle sun glow, which is a hypo-albino call version, and she's got a lot of coralling in there, a lot of nice reds. I hadn't bred her yet. I didn't know who to breed her to. I'm breeding her to a sun glow het leopard here, and let's take a look at her. As you can see, she's locked up, tail to tail, right over here, which is a nice, good sign. So we're going to produce, obviously, sun glow and super sun glows that could be motley and jungle, and they'll all be possible het leopard, which is fine. I don't really care about that. I want to just produce some really nice colored sun glows. Both of these guys have such good color, and especially when they were babies, they're so pink and red and corally looky that I just felt like these were going to produce a lot of good babies together, and I wasn't really worried if they're het leopard or not. The good thing about het leopard is that you can kind of see it as visual cues. So it has the bow tie saddles, you can tell, and if we do produce babies, it should be pretty easy to spot the het leopards if we produce them. But once again, I am going for some really nice albinos. I really haven't focused on that. I'm always going for hets and different crazy combinations. This breeding is going to go for really nice looking jungle, motley jungle sun glows and super sun glows. That's what the goal of this is. And it's nice to see that these guys are liking each other. All right, guys, this is another exciting litter. This is a first year for this onyx female that I got that I'm breeding to the hypo onyx het anery, het blood, het Honduran T positive. You've seen the Super Onyxes I produced this past year that were stellar. This is going to be a repeat breeding, but this is a different female. I have 2 females. This female has never bred yet. She is a virgin. If you look, you can see the smaller male in. And once again, these are dwarf boas. Look how tiny they are. They're not big snakes. You know, these snakes could be in a V70. This is a little bigger than a V70, but they really both can be in here, no problem. The male is super tiny. She's on the smaller side. They're going to produce snakes that are not going to get huge. Once again, pure dwarf locality, Central American boas. And this is an onyx. This is an onyx. He's a hypo onyx. So we're going to hopefully produce some hypo super onyxes. And once again, they're both triple het for Honduran T positive, blood, and anery 2. I always seem to hit the anery 2. I'm hoping that I don't hit any anery 2s and we see some really, really cool super onyx bloods, hypo super onyx bloods, hypo onyx super blood, Honduran T positives. That's the goal. Bloody red barons, you know, or that's what I want to produce this year. We've produced some, I think like 5 gene ones last year, but I'm repeating it. I want to make a lot available to the public. A lot of people have been asking about buying them. I've been holding back a lot of them like a hoarder. I want to let some out next year, but I really love this onyx gene. It's very similar to leopard, but very different at the same time. So hopefully this year will be a big year for the onyx breeding. That's it for today, snake lovers, and this is my Paradigm blood female I think I was telling you about yesterday. She's a little on the runty side. She's got a little pug nose. I call her the bulldog boa, and she was the runt of the litter in 2017. She was also the nicest colored one of all the Paradigm bloods that I produced. I fed her slowly. She doesn't eat big prey. She's got some decent girth to her. She's not that long. She's kind of short. Once again, she's like a little runt of the litter. And I think next year I'm going to try to breed her. A lot of people told me she wouldn't even live. She was so small and undersized, but she is tenacious and she has almost become my mascot here. And she's so cool because she just won't give up and she's got a lot of spunk and personality. And once again, she is the lightest colored Paradigm blood I've ever produced. I mean, she's just so much lighter than the other ones. I'm almost wondering if there's another gene floating around in there. I mean, this is just exquisite looking. Once again, the blood gene being recessive. Paradigm is a combination of the Boa woman caramel and the sharp strain albino, sharing the same allele, producing that allelic, you know, super form. And she's just, like I said, she's really, really nice. And she's putting on some nice size. She eats, you know, a medium rat now. Pretty regularly, and I'm hoping, like I said, we get her in the breeding rotation. You know, sometimes you got to wait 4 or 5 years to breed a smaller or, you know, snake that's a little on the smaller side. But once again, her coloring was so good that I really wanted to try to reproduce this and see what it can produce. So she's going to take us out today. Guys, you know what to do. If you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, hit the like button, and guess what? I'll see you back tomorrow morning.